Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If it's your first time here, you're welcome. My name is Zv-1f and I create videos to help international students in navigating their journey to studying here in the US. Today we are diving into a very important topic, one that I have been getting from a lot of you guys in the comment section, which is proof of funds. I mean, you guys can already tell from the title. So we're talking about proof of funds for the F1 visa. So this is one of the most common questions for most international students. You know, how to go about it, what to do so you don't do the wrong thing, what documents to present, all that good stuff. So I'm here to break it all down for you. How much you need, what counts as proof of funds, and tips for presenting it at your visa interview. Let's get into the video. So let's start with the basic step, right? Or the basic definition. What is proof of funds? So proof of funds is a document that you present during your F1 visa application, right? You present this document for your I-20 to be able to get your I-20. It is also a document that you present to the US government to show them that you are able to finance yourself when you come down to the United States to study, and you're literally proving to them that you're not going to be of any financial burden to the government, to yourself, and to the society or the community that you're coming into. So you're basically letting them know that, oh, you are covered financially and you're not going to have any financial difficulty. So that's what proof of funds mean. And it's also a document that you show that covers your cost of study and your cost of living in the United States. Proof of funds typically entails your tuition and fees for 1 year, your living expenses for 1 year, your miscellaneous costs such as your books, transportation, network fees, college fees, health insurance, college technological fees or college technology fees, your well-being fees, student legal fees, just basic minor fees. That's what your miscellaneous would cover. So the exact amount that you need, which is one of the questions that a lot of people ask, varies from school to school. So that would depend on what your school is going to give you in your I-20 form, which the part where you have your deficit, that's going to determine how much you would need to prove in your proof of funds to be able to apply for your I-20 and also for your F1 visa application process. So it's always advisable that you reach out to your school and ask them what the cost of attendance is in the school that you're going to. Some schools will answer you directly, oh, this is what it costs as an international student to come to the school to study. Some schools will send you a link to the bursar's office, then you have to reach out to them and ask them, or they will send you a link that has the breakdown of what each thing would cost you, your tuition, your living expenses, or if you're coming with your dependents, all that good stuff. You'll find it on the school's website. I, for one, my school literally sent me a link that had the breakdown. So that was how I was able to do my calculation and be able to subtract and add to be able to find out what my deficit was, so that I can be able to present my proof of funds for them to issue me my I-20. So the second part, how much do you need to show? Now this is where the numbers come in. For example, if your university says on your I-20 that your tuition costs $25,000, your living expenses cost $12,000 per year, your miscellaneous costs about $3,000 per year, you will need to show a total of $40,000 in total for you to be able to get your I-20. So you already have this at the back of your mind. Let's say in total you have to send about $40,000, and that's if you're not fully funded. Basically, you're covering your tuition, you're covering your living expenses, you're also covering your miscellaneous, you're covering everything, and that boils down to $40,000. You have to show that in your bank statement. Now this is why we advise that try as much as possible to get a graduate assistantship, get an assistantship position, because this would help to elevate you of this financial responsibilities. I mean, with your academic qualification and your professional qualification, with everything you've achieved so far in the years that you've studied and you've worked, if you present that to the college body or the graduate body that this is what you can do or for your program, and then they see you as a bona fide or best candidate, they'll literally be like, okay, this person is worthy of this assistantship position. And as such, it just takes and covers your tuition, it covers your living expenses, and it also covers your miscellaneous cost. Now that's where the assistantship comes in, but that's for a different video. So if you've not seen that video, I'm going to leave it up in this video so you can watch it and have the knowledge on that. One thing that's very important is this funds, like the $40,000 that we just calculated, you do not have to show that for the entire duration of your study. So take for instance, your program is 2 years, 4 years, right? You do not have to show $4,000 in your account for 2 years, 4 years. What you need to show is the amount for the current year you're going for. You're going to have to show for the first year. Just the first year is sufficient. That's all you need to show. For now, that's all you need to show to be able to get your I-20. At least on your I-20, that's what is going to be there, because it's going to be literally written on your I-20 expenses or cost for 9 months or 12 months, which is a year. So you just need to show that particular fee or that particular amount or your deficit for just 1 year. However, during your interview, like when the visa officer is speaking to you and asking you, oh, how do you intend to cover your cost of attendance, there and then you can now explain to them that this is how you'll be able to cover your cost of attendance in the current year and in the subsequent years to come. Okay, so what counts as proof of funds? Now let's talk about acceptable documents that you can submit for your proof of funds. Okay, you have bank statements, which can come from a bank, your savings account or your checking account, that shows you have that exact balance or enough balance in your account to cover your cost of attendance. You also have scholarship letters. This means you've received, some sort of funding or some sort of scholarship from an organization or from your school to sponsor your academics here in the US or to whatever school you're going to. So that's where the sponsorship letter comes in. We also have the loan approval letters. So the loan approval letters is like you've been granted a loan, proof of educational loan from a bank or from an organization. That depends, right? Whatever organization is giving it to you, because I think I've heard about Empower loan and all that stuff. Loans, I would say, to be honest, is a general topic on its own. While I would advise, I think the major thing I would say about loan is, as long as you have a very good explanation and a payback plan to pay back that loan, then I feel like you might be covered. As long as you can defend it during your interview, I think you're good. Studying here in the US is quite a bulky financial responsibility. So if you're going to kind of get a loan from a body or a bank, just make sure you have a very good repayment plan that sounds good and that would be very helpful in the long run when you're trying to pay. So it's not like you're trying to shoot yourself in the leg, you're paying and then you can't even survive, you can't even feed. So we have sponsor letters. So if someone like your family or your siblings are sponsoring you, then this is where their sponsor letters come in to kind of show that, oh, they're going to be financially responsible for you. And sometimes during your interview, the officer might kind of ask what your relationship is with this person. So this document is not entirely important, but sometimes it might be asked for in some cases. I think the most accepted form of document is the bank statement when you're submitting it to your school, or probably a letter. I think in my own time I submitted bank statement and I also submitted letter of sponsorship. Yes, yeah, I did, because my school sent me a letter of sponsorship that my parents had to sign, and when they signed it, so I submitted it back to them and then I submitted their bank statement to them. So yeah, that for certain schools you might have to do that. For other schools you may not need to submit a letter of sponsorship, right? One tip I would advise is, for you to be able to present your documents, I would advise you make sure all your documents are recent, usually between the last 3 to 6 months, and they clearly show the name of your sponsor, their full name, every T, their first name, the middle name and the last name. If your parents are sponsoring you and you're kind of submitting a joint account that both of them have, just know that you have to submit both names, your dad and your mom, because it's a joint account. So they would like to know who the second person is or who the signatory name or account is in that joint account. Whatever you do, please don't try to forge documents. Literally don't try to do it. If you try that, I feel like when you submit these things to the school that you're trying to apply to, they can tell, and because of that you literally be on the red list, or you'll be flagged if you ever think of applying to that school again. So try not to forge any documents. Make sure your documents are as real, they are real and original documents. Yeah, they would ask you to sign this document. I mean, if anybody is sponsoring you, they will sign and you will sign. So it's usually advisable that you sign with a blue pen, so that they know that, okay, this was literally done with a blue pen, because black can literally be, it could just be copied or it could just be duplicated. I think that's what I'm looking for. So try as much as possible to make sure that your documents are original and they are very much up to date. Okay, common questions about proof of of funds, which I'm going to answer in this video. Can I show multiple sources of funding? Well, for the sake of your visa interview, I would advise that you show just one source of funding. By that I mean, if your parents are covering like the remaining part of your deficit, show just their bank account or their bank statement. They may not ask you for this, but don't go there flashing their document in the officers' faces, because if they did not ask you for that, just keep it to yourself. The only thing that most of these visa officers will ask you is your passport, your I-20. That's it. I think that was what they collected from me during my interview. So don't worry, I'm going to share my old F1 visa experience, like a whole talk through story time with you guys in a different video. And if you want to see that video, just let me know in the comment section. The answers I get from you guys will let me know if I should film that or not. So let me just clear this. The proof of funds you're submitting is to your school. So once you've gotten your admission, the school has given you admission, they've told you that, oh, congratulations, you have been admitted to the social program on behalf of the graduate college of your school. They will ask you to provide proof of funds to be able to issue you the I-20. Yeah, for most schools, it's always advisable that you submit your proof of funds before they can give you your I-20. If you have been awarded a graduate assistantship position that covers your tuition, that covers your living expenses and some of your miscellaneous costs, it's also advisable that you submit that graduate assistantship offer to the school. Okay, the school will not know that your department gave you a graduate assistantship offer that covers these things I just mentioned if you don't show that document to them, so that they can be able to minus it from your cost of attendance and let you know what you're supposed to pay that is left. And then your proof of fund is what you now send to them, letting them know that, oh, this is what I on my end will cover. So when you submit those two documents, they will now be able to write it on your I-20 that, oh, you have a graduate assistantship offer that covers so and so, and then the other part of your deficit they might put as it's deficit. That's what it's called a deficit. So if you submit your family's bank statement, now they will just put it on the I-20 as family funds. Or if you submit your own personal bank statement where you have been able to save that money for that purpose, they will write it on your I-20 as personal fund. Always look out for these details, because anything that states otherwise on your I-20 will contradict your interview process. So you want to make sure that whatever you're telling your visa officer during your interview is exactly what is on your I-20 document. You don't want to make a mistake. You don't want to say something out of the ordinary. You don't want to say things that is not your I-20, because they're asking you questions that is based on the I-20, the document you've submitted to them. Yeah, moving on to the next question. Do I need to keep this amount in my account for the entire time? I would say not necessarily, because the US is quite flexible, but you need to provide that particular fund in your account for them to be able to issue your I-20. And also having like a very sustainable and consistent financial plan is very important for the future in terms of paying this cost and covering whatever deficit you would have. So another question I get asked most of the time is, what happens if I can't fully cover my proof of funds? Like if I can't show enough proof of funds? I think it's not something you can just cover. It's just literally like, unfortunately, that's going to cost you your visa interview. In fact, it's going to even cost you the I-20, because there's no school that will issue you I-20 if you do not provide enough proof of funds in your bank statements. They will not even go ahead to issue you the I-20, because that I-20 is what you take for your visa interview. So without that, it's as good as forget it. There's no need you going there. So you need to show. It's not even what if I can't. Just scrap what if from your mind. You need to show it. So make sure that you're showing enough proof of funds in your account. And in as much as you are planning to come down here to study, you have to have enough proof of funds in your account. Like this could lead to your visa denial. So it's crucial to plan ahead and ensure that you have that exact amount in your account. And even when they run their checks, they know that, okay, this money is here and it's exactly what you intend to use it for. Okay, well, I hope this video clears up any confusion that you might have about proof of funds and what it takes for you to apply for it, the documents you need to show for it. Well, if you found this video helpful, please don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section, give me a thumbs up, and share this video to anybody you know it might be helpful to. If they're in their journey of applying to come here to study, share this video with them, share my channel with them, let them know what we are doing on here and how we're trying to help you grow and help them navigate their journey. Also, there is a link to a support group in the description box, so So do well to check it out and join the support group, as you'll be getting, you know, informations and kind of like support through the process. So if you have questions, or if you're trying to like do something and you're confused about it, that's what the support group is there for you. Let me know in the comment section if you have any questions about the process, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more tips and updates. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye guys.